Hey guys, thanks for joining me. This is Captain Kurt. We're at our Ohio training field today, and today we had a student come in with a different piece of equipment other than what we sell. There's a reason why I sell what I sell, and sometimes when I have a person come in that's got a different piece of equipment, I like to show the difference, not only in the quality of the equipment, but some of the features that the other ones are missing or that I don't care about. And so I kind of wanted to go over that with you. This is the Trike Buggy out of California. Big seller, spends a lot of money in advertising and spends a lot of time convincing people that this is a great trike. And it looks really great. And they are sturdy. You got these nice chrome bars coming down. This is the Trike Buggy Bullet. One thing I'm glad about this is the guy had a fresh breeze motor on it. And there are over a dozen and a half major features on a fresh breeze that are not found on any other brand that you pick. From high performance roller bearings to reinforced crankcase to enlarged cylinder heads, there's a whole list. And if you want to see that video, go to my website at flightjunkies.com, and on the very front homepage, there's a video where I'm wearing a white shirt, and it's called Powered Paragliding Scam Warnings Equipment. It's going to show you an hour-long list of things that are not found on any other brand. So I'm glad that this Trike Buggy has a fresh breeze on it. The dependability, this thing was sitting for I don't know how long. We started it up on the first fall after sitting, even with old fuel in it. But the part I want to focus on right now is the Trike Buggy itself. This is a big seller. I have no idea why. There's not a whole lot other than the chrome that I like about it. First of all, it doesn't break down. It's something that's gonna be stuck like this, so you better have a big vehicle, a big pickup truck, or invest in a couple $1,000 trailer. That's the first thing. With the FlyPod video, or the FlyPod, if you go to our video on our website, you'll see how the FlyPod breaks down. This does not. The other thing I don't like about it is these two big bars coming down here. When you're actually sitting down here, after you get in it, it's right about at eye level, so your view is really distracted continually by these bars. These bars are also make it extremely hard to get into, and any guy, the guy that bought it is a lighter weight guy, and even he said it's hard to get into. Some of my pilots are bigger than me, and they come in, and it's a struggle having to kind of crawl in through up here and then pop your head up through this hole and then get situated in there. Getting in and out of it is very difficult for some people, and especially the bigger guys. With the FlyPod, it's open in the front. You step in front of it and you just sit down. There's nothing there. You can get in and out and quickly. In an emergency, you can get out of it quickly. Again, it doesn't break down. Hard to get into. Your sight is hindered. And then secondly, is this top part right here is separate from the bottom part. Well, all they've done is bolt it together. This has come from another company, and all they did was make this top riser attachment. The company Trike Buggy out in California just orders this bottom part, and then they make the top part. But I want you to come in here and look how this is constructed and why they don't let you hang from these top bars. This is the only thing holding the top on right here. These are like for musician type stands, and this is what mounts the top to it. And one of the problems with that is you really want a high hang point for stability. Well, we can't use this as a hang point. So now they have to you have to drop your risers down through these guide rings to make it think that it's hanging from the top. Well, what happens when you got different pilots and you have to adjust your center of gravity so the front end comes off? Well, now you have to unbolt everything here and slide it along and move the fake out rings to make it think it's hanging from a different point. With a FlyPod, we have multiple hang points. You simply take the carabiner and move it to another hole. It's hanging from the top. It's all one solid piece. It can't come apart while you're flying. So this thing can come apart. It can vibrate loose, the bolts can come loose, and it would be two separate pieces. With the FlyPod, it is one continuous roll cage around there, and there's no two pieces where it's pulled together. It's continuous. It's impossible for it to come apart. So because they're worried about it coming apart, they now attach the risers below the pilot's seat, or right about by the head. Well, the problem is he's on the top of he's hanging above. It's kind of like if you had a trapeze and you were, instead of hanging underneath it, you're on top of it doing a handstand. So we have to convince it that it's being hanged from the top. And so that's what these guys are in for. So every time you want to do it, or another pilot gets in, you have to adjust and unbolt everything. The other thing that the fly pod does is the fly pod is telescopic. With this one, it doesn't matter if you're tall or short or anything. Whatever you get is what you're stuck with. There's no adjusting to the pilot comfort level. It's very hard to hold, drop your legs down because in the way the bars are shaped, they kind of hang a little bit funny off the sides with the bars in the way instead of the front seat just being able to hang your feet down. The other thing that this thing doesn't do is the front end, as you can see, is raked out like a chopper. Well, what's the problem with that? Well, when a student's learning and he's brand new and he's steering the wing, if he forgets what his feet are doing and he heads in just a slightly different direction than where the wing is going, the trike immediately rolls over. This trike is extremely easy to roll over because of this. On the fly pod, the front wheel, and it's the only one that does it, is articulated back so that it self-steers. We've even trained guys that had no legs, guys that were paraplegic, because they don't need their legs. They simply rest their feet on them if they want to use them. It self-corrects for their mistakes, and it also guides them to just let the wing do all the work, and it launches itself. If they should come to a point where it's going to want to tip it over, the front wheel will self-correct it and throw the wheel over in the area that they would have tipped this trike. To take the motor off this, you literally have to unbolt it, so you're stuck with that too. With the fly pod, everything comes apart with pins in about 30 seconds. You can break down an entire fly pod in 30 seconds. You cannot do that with the Trike Buggy. The other thing is you're sitting down there kind of low to the ground, which is good. I do like that. And like the wheels and everything, that's pretty good on this. But this is just some of the features I don't. I'm going to have Mike get in it so he can show you what it takes to get in here. And when he gets in, his way of getting in it was to do this. Now, that might not seem like a lot, but he's 140 pounds. How much you weigh, Mike?
About 140.
140 pounds. And you can see how much he has to bend and crouch down to get in. And that's the best way he found of getting in, other than climbing over the top and getting in. But when you get a guy 220, 230, and I get some pilots that are, 250, 260. If you watch our video with Paulie from the Bronx, he's 446 pounds. There'd be no way I could get that guy in here. And if he ever had trouble where he needed to get out of it quickly, he'd never be able to do it because you're strapped in here. So these are just some of the reasons I would not buy a trike buggy. And get yourself a fly pod. It's become the best-selling trike on the market. Watch the other video. It's going to go over a lot more features that are not on this one. But I just thought I'd share this with you and let you see what it's all about. Thanks for joining me.